Let's go right to Florida. The former mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani, is joining us. Mr. Mayor, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you, Wolf. Thanks because we decided that given all of our strengths, weaknesses, our resources, the best thing for us to do was to concentrate on Florida, where we think we can make a very, very strong showing. And I think our strategy has kind of worked out because this is a wide open field. They all have to come down here, and we think we have sort of set the agenda here by putting out the boldest tax plan, the biggest tax cut in American history, a one-page form. We've gotten that all around Florida over the last week. We've talked about the National Catastrophic Fund. Got to see where the other Republicans are on that. We've talked about what's needed for Homeland Security. We've talked about a lot of the concerns of Florida and have conducted, I think, a very strong campaign here. And now the others can come here, and we want to contrast with them over tax cutting, which I've done a lot of. And, you know, John voted against the Bush tax cuts. Mitt Romney didn't support them. I did, and I did tax cuts by the Second Amendment. That has been very, very clear. I would like to see abortions reduced and adoptions increased, and support the ban on partial birth abortion, support parental notification. I think that there are some differences, but that kind of exaggerates the difference, you know, way beyond where it actually is. It's true. No one of us Republican candidates meets the full test. And I think that's been part of the reason why there's been such back and forth and why the race is so open. And I think Republicans have to sit back and say, you know, with Ronald Reagan, my 80% friend is not my 20% enemy. Who would be the most effective leader? Who's going to reduce taxes the most? Who's going to actually bring down government spending? And who's going to be strongest in dealing with Islamic terrorism?
Let's talk about one of the key issues emerging right now. That would be the economy. That would be jobs. You say you're going to propose the biggest tax cut in the history of the United States if you become president of the United States. Let's talk about what that would mean specifically. For a family earning $500,000 a year, how much would that family save as opposed to a family earning $50,000 a year? How much would that family save?
Well, we've computed it for a family that earns about $80,000 a year. A family of four would save about $3,000 or $4,000. The rest of the tax, and that's off the single form because we're proposing a single form. That in and of itself would result in tax savings for every American in all different brackets. Then it depends on the ones that get enacted. Like if we index the alternative minimum tax to inflation, it would help middle-class Americans tremendously. Some of the tax cuts are not personal tax cuts. They're the corporate tax. We were the first to propose a major reduction in the corporate tax from 35 to 25%. That would not help any particular individual, but it would sure help a lot of people because it would create a lot of jobs. The way I do tax cuts and the way I did it as mayor of New York City is I put out a lot of tax cuts. I fight for all of them. I never have gotten all of them, but I get enough of them so that we can really stimulate the economy.